Oh, that's not looking good. Hey, David. Hold on. Let me turn off my music. I'm just jamming here. Hello, David. Hello, my father. Let me turn everything down here. Make sure I don't have too much echo, any kind of craziness. Let me do my opening. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to be the only one in here today, David. I didn't really plan on much. Egg is gone, so while Eggy is away, the frog will play. Um, I'm just basically trying to get some topics for me and Egg's conversation on Sunday. On Saturday, because we're going live at 4:20 as our normal time. Every other Saturday. We skipped it last Saturday, but she didn't feel like doing anything. So, but yeah, I am live in effect. I might draw some cards. Hey, Brandon. Just went live. Not really much to talk about. I'm going to draw some cards because me and in my spiritual life are at what appears to be a crossroads right now. So I'm going to use my Buffy the Vampire Slayer deck, as you can see. Yes. So these are the Buffy tarot cards. I use tarot cards and oracle cards. The difference between both is that tarot has the major and minor arcana, which are suits that pretty much relate to you in the world in general. And the minor arcana, I believe, relate to you in specific day-to-day life. So, yeah, like I said, my spirituality I practice is called Ifa, and it is a Western or Southern Nigerian / Benin / Togo, parts of Togo anyway, religion, or not even religion, spirituality that seeks to align people. So like someone like me, I seek to align myself with my destiny, which is my Ori, which is my inner head, or my higher self. Some people may call it God. Some people may call it, I don't know, the absolute zero or the absolute connection. Some people may call it spirit, whatever you call it. There's a current that runs through everything, and I think that's the energetic current that I use. Now, in Ifa, the solo or supreme Godhead type figure is called Olodumare. And Olodumare was the one who sent one of the Orisha down to mold man from clay. And then of course Yemaya is a deity, an Orisha of the oceans. My Orisha, as such, are Oya, as I wear a lot of red for Oya, and I also wear a lot of white for Oshun or Osun. Osun is a goddess of fertility, of women, of sweet waters, of honey, of anything sweet, sweetness in life. But don't get it twisted. Osun, like many rivers and many oceans, can overflow and destroy in a minute's notice. So, hey, Marnie, what's up? How you doing? I'm getting ready to pull a couple cards just to see about the next step on my spiritual journey. Like I said, it's so And Ifa is, people get this this idea like voodoo, like it's in the movies, like it's all crazy and shit. It's not. There are rituals. People can go into trance, but that is like any other Pentecostal or snake handling Christian slang in church. So, but it is a more earthbound. Um, it is a more earthbound spirituality that does include, things like astrology and astronomy and mathematics and literature. It's a divination system that uses 16 major Odu that turn into a complex number of 256 Odu that can have multiple answers. And so what happens is a Baba or an Ianifa or an Ianifa, who is the woman priestess of Ifa. A Baba Wow is a male priestess of a man priestess or a male priest of Ifa. So they will do the divining. And there's something called Ebo, where there's a certain prescription, like a way to handle this issue. Let's say you are penniless and you need money. You go to the Baba will do divination, and the Baba will tell you what your Orisha needs you to do in order to set yourself on the right path. The path is not necessarily let's get rich. The path is more along the lines of let's align myself so that prosperity and abundance come to me whenever it's necessary and flows fluently and concurrently. So, yeah. So I am in the process of I'm in an intense process right now, and unfortunately, part of this is related to something I don't have. So, I need to figure out right now what my next step is going to be. Should I continue down this path? Should I scrap it all together? Or should I fight it out one more time? Because to be completely honest, I have thought about stopping multiple times and just like stopping this particular path. Like there are things about Ifa that I don't know that I am ready for. Yet. Ifa is very interesting. There are, like I said, 256 ways to 256 major, and they're called Odu. So, like, there's 16 major Odu, and those 16 branch out to 256. But of those 256, you can have endless combinations, and those endless combinations allow you to, like I said, find a way that you can either appease your Orisha or work within the nature frame of your Orisha to gain favor, or basically to, take control of your life, to set up the spiritual chips so that when or the spiritual dice or the spiritual dominoes, so that when the person flicks them over, everything goes in a perfect pattern and comes back to you multiplied. I am not one for riches. I've never looked for having a ton of money. I would love money, sure, but I am not wanting money to rule the world. When I say I want money and I do abundance and prosperity, divination and spells, that is not so I can be the next gazillionaire. I don't want to have $1 zillion. I do want to have enough to fill my cup, fill Egg's cup, fill my chosen family's cup, give my family some money back, and still have enough to help my queer brothers and sisters and peeps from different mothers. So, and that includes, just about anybody who needs help. I do this willingly. I don't make a lot of money. I don't make any money right now. I've made $35 off of Beehive. Yay, Beehive. So, I'm not making any money off my writing. I'm on disability, so I do get a disability check every month. And I do try to help where I can with my fellow queer people if they need help. Mutual aid is a good thing. It is not a greedy thing. It is a necessary thing, especially in the trans community where we face higher degrees of homelessness and discrimination, housing discrimination, so on and so forth. Getting kicked out of the house, all that good stuff. So, I'm stumbling over my words because I'm trying to figure out if I can say it or if I can't. But what I'm doing is the process for an IANA for right now. This might be a different direction than what you were discussing, but I have to share this with as many as I can. I just posted some research centered on research into the amygdala's neural network for trans folks. It shows that all have the same neuron structure and characteristics. You absolutely know. Thank you so much. Yes, I have actually seen a study like that. I don't know if we're talking about the same study. Let's see. You said you just centered. Yeah. Okay. You just posted some research. Okay. Well, I would like to read that, David. I'll pop onto your page. I don't know if I saw something earlier, either this year or late last year, about research that did show that, in fact, people who were transitioning to be their true selves, their brains already aligned with those with their true selves. I don't know if that's the case, and if that's what you're saying, I definitely want to take a look see at that. Let's see. You absolutely know who you are and how you are because these. Yes, thank you. That's appreciated. I'm glad to see that there is research coming out that's going to help. I hope that the research comes out very quickly because I can tell that the Orange Dump is not going to even care. Pretty much, they're trying their best to shoehorn all the information coming in as quickly as possible so that we can't use it to our advantage. What's our advantage? We just want to live. It's not an advantage over anybody. We just want to fucking live. But thank you for that information. That is definitely interesting. And I will definitely check out that page, your page. So I'm going to just pull 3 cards. And keep in mind, I haven't read tarot in a long time because it's kind of funny because I used to every day, I'd pull 3 cards, tarot, and 2 cards. Well, either 2 or 3 from this deck, which is an oracle deck. So tarot, oracle decks, oracle decks are more, to me, are more intuitive in the sense that oracle decks usually will show a picture, like this shows a picture, right? But on the oracle deck, it'll usually just have a phrase or a word and not correspondences or anything like that. I mean, there will be correspondences and such, but it's more, to me, it's more intuitive. Tarot, it's kind of, you can kind of use your rule book, and I'm just not good at tarot. I use the rule book for all of it. I just know that intuitively when I pick a card, that card is the card that is meant to be picked. And then I just have to understand the meaning behind it. So I do use the book. Yeah. I'm a cheater. Yay. So here we go. Yay, the Emperor. That is number 4. Emperor. And that is right side up, however you say it. I forgot. And then, oh, the devil, number 9. The devil, right side up. Good. And then we'll pull one more from over here. Oh, shit. The King of Chalices. The King of Chalices reversed. Okay. So, in order to get into this, the first thing I'm going to do is read really quickly what the major arcana mean and the minor arcana mean. So the major arcana, beginning with the Fool and ending with the World, these 22 cards are the main characters of the deck. Each one represents a universal life lesson, something all humans experience as we develop our spiritual, mental, and emotional maturity. When a major arcana card appears in your reading, it signifies massive changes, one that will help you grow into a knowing stuff type of person. If a major arcana card is reversed, it means you're definitely visiting Denial Land and need to head back to pay attentionville. So the cool thing about that is I don't have any cards, any major arcana in the reversed side. They're all upright. Now the minor arcana or arcana, minor arcana. I like arcana, sounds sexy to me. Arcana, but I can call it arcana too. So, and I have a tremor. That's why my hand is shaking. But and I'll probably have to hold it like this. Yeah. So the minor arcana or arcana, the deeds. These 56 cards represent the daily grind. But before you get all eye-rolly and bored, you should know that there are some of the most helpful cards in the deck. They describe temporary states of being, arguments with your BFFs, celebrating another monster dusted. The minor arcana can provide mega useful amount of insight into your current circumstances, challenging status quo and motivating you to work through tough times. So the minor arcana includes 4 different suits: the stakes, which is wands; the chalices, which is cups; scythes, which is swords; and pentacles, which is the same Z's as pentacles. You know what I'm saying? Same Z's. So we are going to pop into this. The major arcana. The first card was the Emperor. That is card 4. And it has Buffy on it. Yay, Buffy. Make sure nobody's trying to get in touch with me. I am the most wanted person in this apartment right now, which is me. I mean, well, my dog is wanted more than I am. Okay, so Emperor, here we go. Buffy Summers, Buffy. Oh, and by the way, this is my Buffy the Summers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck. I do love Buffy. David, yes, it is being recorded, so definitely check it out. Thank you so much. Thanks for dropping that information. I will definitely check out your page. I appreciate it. So, on to the Emperor. Is there any better symbol of protection, authority, and decisive resolution? Emperor Buffy is a commanding leader who has earned respect. So upright, when this card takes charge of your reading, you are being asked to summon the strength of the Slayer. You may find yourself needing to play peacekeeper or having to rise above a situation to find a logical solution. But whatever is being asked of you, just know that you are chosen for a reason. Okay, y'all. Okay, so that card that just popped up kind of just cleared up a whole mess of, hey Jay, yes, Strength of the Slayer. That just cleared up a whole mess of stuff. This Emperor card. Basically, I was at a position where, and I am at a position where, in order to attain a higher level, there are things that I need to give. And I just don't know that I'm prepared to give them, meaning financially. I don't know that I have the financial means to give them. And it's not a lot. It really is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. I've paid so much already, because if you know anything about Ifa, it's not cheap. Like it gets cheap. Like, okay, so in the beginning it's expensive, and the reason it's expensive is because you, as the student, you have to pay for the materials, and materials can get expensive. Materials for workings, for rituals, so on and so forth. So it can get expensive. And then, as far as total, like, there are several initiatory steps, and I am on the last one. And this is where apparently people, um, either drop out or push forward. It is the step. This is the either you fall off the ledge or you stay level. So, anyway, this card, what the Emperor did for me is just it allowed me to see that, yeah, I've got this power. I know that it's coursing through me. I can continue to develop it. I can continue to work within this system that I have been working within, um, and prosper and flourish, and be good enough to help others, which is ultimately my goal. Titles don't mean anything to me. Yeah, I have to have the title in order to get to where I want to be. Um, but ultimately, they don't mean anything to me. What really means something to me, what I believe I have been put on Earth in this dimension, in this time, is to help people. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there. I know I do help people, but I don't know if it's supposed to be, what I'm not 100% sure on is if it's supposed to be a massive scale, or if it's supposed to be like on a one-to-one scale, which is how I'm doing it now. One to one, person to person. Um, I am not, but for the record, I am not a therapist. I do not have any degrees. So when people come to me, um, they come to me with their confidence, and I don't break it. Um, I have not yet broken anyone's confidence, and I don't think I ever will. Um, I take it very seriously that people come and are willing to speak to me about their problems, something that is bothering them so much that they need someone to talk to. I want to be that person, and especially for queer people, not, you don't have to be queer, but and you don't have to be queer or trans, non-binary, anything like that, gender fluid. I talk to anybody and everybody. I noticed in the last since COVID, I have been mainly focusing on trans people, and maybe it's time to, well, in this regard, what I'm trying to tie it back to is by maybe taking this step further into initiation. You're better at one-to-one, Brandon Coolio. But taking this last step into full and complete initiation, which would make me um, a priestess of Ifa, um, is daunting. It's a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. Let me put it to you like that. So let's go on to the second card. Is the Devil. The Devil. This is Vamp Willow, or not Vamp Willow. This is Dark Willow. Dark Willow. When Dark Willow came on, now they screwed Tara over, but I understand why they did it. And Dark Willow versus Buffy was an awesome duel. Okay, but this is still the major arcana. So we're just gonna find Vamp Dark Willow, and we're gonna read up on what's going on with her. Okay, the devil, ready to meet and master your darkest self. OMG. Upright, which is good for me. Have you been calling down the fury, exacting fresh vengeance, and making people's worst fears come true? Because it's time to get that under control. The devil speaks to temptations, addictions, and letting your darker self convince you that you have no say in the matter. Except you do. Dark Willow reminds you that you can liberate yourself from negative influences and come away even stronger. So, I'm trying to figure out um, how that relates to Ifa. Um, I the only thing I feel negative towards Ifa is the amount of money that you have to spend. But if you look online, I mean, if you look up Ifa and you look up Ifa full initiation, you're going to be surprised at how expensive it is. Um, it's a grip. Let me tell it to you like that. It's a grip. Um, but Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know. Like once again, I'm on a precipice right now. It's either do I continue or do I walk away? And the do I walk away means do I walk away with this knowledge, understanding that I am not um, an Ianifa or an Ianifa, um, uh, and but I still hold titles, and I don't want to be a title collector, um, but I don't know. Like it's so much money, and I don't have the money to give. And I'm using money that I shouldn't use, and I'm wondering if I should use. Hi, Manuela. Um, and I'm wondering if it's money I should or should not use. I suppose I could use the money, but I feel like I've paid so much right now, and it's all. Let me just tell y'all a true thing. It's all down to a dream I had, and the dream I had did not have the right number of birds. So yeah, the right number of birds. Let me see what's going on with my gold necklace here. OMG. I'm gonna take this one off because there. Um oh, you motherfucker. How did I do this? Okay. Sorry, y'all, technical difficulties. We're gonna get this fixed in just a minute. There. Okay. Well, we are not going to fix this right now because it is a mess. We're just going to leave it all, let it party. It's got a party on my chest. Yeah. Anyway, so it, let's look at the King of Chalices, and this is the card that's going to kind of wrap everything up. Like the first card was definitely good. The Emperor, um, Dark Willow, the Devil is saying. Uh, it's trying to tell me that if there are negative influences, like, and I'm trying to figure out whether it's like my negative influences, meaning my mind, like me being the negative influence, like me being um, stingy or um, not understanding of spiritual practices enough. And that's not it. It's not the not understanding of spiritual practices, but not feeling great about paying a lot of money for initiation into these levels. I am used to initiation by um not by paying money. Now, of course, along with paying money, there are things you have to do. Don't get it twisted. I'm not just paying money and they're elevating me to, another level. That is not happening. I'm elevating myself, and initiation is just really the beginning. Any kind of initiation is just that. It's the beginning. It's not the ending. You are not, senior badass at that moment. You are just a bald ass baby getting ready to begin again. That's when the true initiation begins. You're initiated, and then the true work begins. But I've been putting in work. I've been putting in work for about a year and a half now. Year and a half, 2 years. So let me go on to the next one, the King of Chalices. And here we go. King of Chalices. Let me see if it says anything about chalices. Nope. So King of Chalices. The King of Chalices. This is reversed, and this is a minor arcana. So this is going to be a card that reads for our day-to-day lives, or temporary situations, as opposed to a world view. And just for y'all Buffy folks out there, this is Giles, from the Magic Shop, like right for the Halloween episode. Yeah, pretty cool. Yes. Okay, so King of Chalices reversed. You're approaching major blow-up territory. This is what happens when you're stuffy and repressed and overact. You can try to blame it on forces of evil, but reverse King of Chalices knows it's simply your feelings getting the better of you. This card suggests finding a healthier outlet for your frustrations and actually talking through your troubles. Okay, y'all. So through that little 3-card pull, basically what I'm getting from it is that I'm on a precipice. I have this opportunity. I can back away if I feel I can back away and have my head held high and continue on my path, without feeling like I've let myself down. Because I felt that I've given Aoife all, and right now it's a matter of money. That's really what it is right now. It's a matter of money, and do I want to give more money? I've been assured that this is the last that I would have to pay, but you know what happened last time? Last time I paid, and we went through a process, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling all this, so I won't tell y'all, but it's a dream sequence that I was supposed to have. And I did have the dream sequence. I just didn't have it in the right way. And this happened before. So now, and there's something called Ebo, which is where after divination occurs, then the person who was having divination for the Baba or the Ianfa will then prescribe a way to appease their Orisha. And an Orisha is just a deity, a deity of nature, like sometimes a force of nature. Like my Orishas are Oya and Oshun. So let me see if I have it. I don't know. You can't see my stuff over here, but my stuff over here is my whole altar area. And so like I said in the beginning, I wear red for Oya, and burgundies and browns and like plums and aubergines and stuff like that. And I wear shocking red and red lips, and that's all for Oya. And then for Oshun, or Osun as I call her, I wear white or yellow, golden, and I wear brass. I've got brass earrings in. But yes. So anyway, all this is reading very well. Basically, what it's saying is it's mine for the taking. It's up to me. It's not up to anybody else. And that was, you know, it's up to me, but it's also me understanding that it's my power that I can use to um, control my environment, which is something that I've always known. Um, I guess it's just good to see it in the cards for once. Toys. Okay. We're going to do the African Goddess Rising deck. This is my Oracle deck. Okay. So Oracle is a little bit different, like I said. So you'll see like an Oracle deck, an Oracle card. It's pretty colorful. It's got a lot of different shit going on. It's got a name and a word. So the difference between those are differences between Oracle and Tarot. Oracle is pretty quick. Like I said, it's more intuitive. I am not good at Oracle, but I pull Oracle cards more than I pull tarot cards. I just don't have the let's look at this and tell me what you think about it down. I can tell you what I think about it now. I don't know if it's going to be right. But let's see. So we're just shuffling these. African Goddess Rising. So this deck is, of course, with all goddesses of African nature, anywhere in Africa or in the diaspora. Okay. So what I'm going to do is called, it's a 3-card pull as well. But I think it's called something else in this book. It's called the Goddess Temple spread, which is 3 cards. And the first card is your soul. The second card is your mind. And the third card is your body. So I am going to pull 3 cards. And we're going to see what's going on with my soul, mind, and body as it relates to Ifa and my final initiation into the beginning of my initiations. I love that. People think initiation is the end, but no. Really, initiation is indeed the beginning. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Boom. Aunt Nancy, betrayal. Boom. Let's see, who's this? Queen Nandi, or Queen Nandi, intuition. And this was reversed. I should tell you, in Oracle, or at least in this Oracle deck, reverse cards don't mean anything negative. That means you should pay more attention to them. So this is intuition, more attention. And then the last card that I am going to pull is also reversed. Mboya Nehanda, Radical Rebirth. Wow. Y'all know what I'm saying, don't y'all? This is in terms of Ifa, I'm seeing that this is the time, I really am beginning to feel that this is the time, although that betrayal card kind of threw me for a loop. Let me just take a look, see what that betrayal card means, because the other 2 are nice. I'm getting good feels from those. But the betrayal kind of makes me nervous, because that's part of the problem that I was thinking. Am I being betrayed? Is there some part that is, that is doing some shit? So let's see. Anyway, so the first one that I picked was betrayal. Betrayal. So Aunt Nancy, spider. If you saw the Sandman, hey Neuro D, what's up? If you saw Sandman, then you saw like Anansi, the spider from what's his name? But this is like same type of African spirituality, same type of thing. Anansi, she is number 20, so we're gonna pop over really quickly and read her stuff. She is Aunt Nancy, Shadow of Betrayal, Akan or Akan, Temple Shadows. Okay, so the Temple of the Shadows. Let's see. The Shadows, 7 cards. The shadows represent your greatest fears and the dark feminine with ominous characters and monster goddesses of the African diaspora. The secret of the shadow self is that so called monsters often have our greatest gifts. Their energy vibrates iridescent white. Oh, great. So this might not be a bad card at all, y'all. Let's see. Okay, so Aunt Nancy. Anansi or Kawaku Anansi, the Akon trickster god and sacred clown, snuck into our global folk tales. While Gullah Geechee children, if you know the Gullah Geechee, they're along the east coast of the United States, southern east coast, specifically that I know of, Charleston and parts of Georgia. The Gullah Geechee children heard tales of Aunt Nancy, the trickster spider woman. My Guyanese parents entertain us with Nazi stories about a witty teen spider. Who really betrayed you is the shadow guidance. Betrayals from others mirrors you betraying yourself. So, if I were to stop there and think who is betraying me, if I were to get honest, like, yeah, it would be myself, because what I'm doing in doing this is allowing other people to take charge. So, in allowing other people to take charge, what I'm doing. Hey, Jason, thanks for popping in. I'm just doing some readings real quick because I don't know, like, I don't know how I got on with this. Oh, because I'm talking about Ifa right now, my spirituality. So yeah, embodiment. Betrayal is a web that disrupts everything you thought you knew. Use discernment in your relationships. Betrayal makes it difficult to trust. But without trust, your relationships are a lie. Trust that no matter what, trust that no matter what happens and no matter how long it takes, you will survive and thrive. The real question: have you, or how have you betrayed or abandoned yourself? I am willing to know the truth. So sometimes it comes down to just, sometimes it comes down to gut reaction, intuition. Um, have I been doing this? What reason have I been doing this? To what end? And I always check back and circle around back to the beginning. And it's like, why exactly am I doing these initiatory steps? Is it for titles? Is it for power? Is it altruistic? And I think if Brandon's still in here, we had a conversation about this yesterday or the day before, where can one really do something just out of the kindness out of their heart and not expect anything out of it? And I think Brandon and I both came up with the answer, and the answer is no. Yeah, like it's hard to do anything just for someone else and not expect anything in return. And I'll tell you why, because Brandon came up with this point. The idea is, if you are helping someone, even though you know they can't give you shit, you're helping them, and by you helping them, it helps you feel good about yourself. And so you are doing something good about yourself. You see, so and that's not anything negative. It shouldn't be. Like, as people, we should help people. We should help everybody. We should help animals. It's just like, be kind to people. That doesn't mean like let people walk all over you, which is also another thing. Like, I have to balance the way I look at worldview versus the way I'm learning how Ifa is looking at a worldview, how their cosmology fits versus my cosmology before I came into Ifa. Now, let me just say, I did not jump into Ifa. Like, I have been circling this spirituality for at least a decade. My Orisha worship started probably 15 years ago. Like, I'm still getting, like, a couple days ago, I got like a post that I posted 13 years ago about Oshun. Little did I know that I would be crowned, by Oshun, and crowned by Oya. I was posting about Yemaya. I was posting about Olokun. But little did I know that, I guess these energies were already in me, and they were working with me, ancestor worship and all that good stuff. Okay, so Aunt Nancy, popular. Aunt Nancy was the first, and that Aunt Nancy is I think that's the soul. Let me just get back to the little page. Blessing your oracle deck. I already did that. Okay, so the soul. What does my soul need to know? So my soul, I guess, needs to know that I am willing to know the truth. How have you betrayed or abandoned yourself? I think what it's saying is, you don't think it's a negative thing. It's okay to feel good about helping others. It is definitely okay to feel good about helping others. I think that is, in and of itself, the best thing about helping others is to feel good, to know that you did good by your fellow man, regardless of whether they can help you or not. And that shouldn't matter at all. And who cares if they can pay you back? Who cares if they can stitch you a quilt? Who cares if they can bring you hot food? If you can do it for someone else, why not? I'm going to say this, I think even Wendy may have said something about this yesterday or a day ago or a couple of days ago. But if you can say something nice to somebody, do. If you see something beautiful in somebody, don't make it creepy. I'm not like being all creepy, like, oh my God, I was creeping on Brandon, but I don't creep on him anymore. But if you see something beautiful in people, tell them, because they may be having a shitty day. You never know whose heart you're going to touch. You never know who's holding on by a thread. So just approach the world with kindness, and you never know what can happen. But sorry, Brandon. So yeah. Okay. So the next card was, which was the next card? Yeah. Initiation, Queen Nandi. So Queen Nandi right here. Beautiful. I have a feeling this is Ghanaian. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. And I'm trying to look at the card to see if I get any kind of feeling on it. I know, like, Queen, of course, Queen. She's regal. Little baby is regal. Warrior baby, warrior queen. It's got the Ghanaian drum, and this instrument type thing. So we're going to see what it says. It was reversed. Oh, good. Thank you, Brandon. Reversed. So it is number 35. We're going to keep on moving up to 35. 35. Okay. So Queen Nandi. And then we're just going to go back a little bit more to Queen Nandi and her temple is Queens. So let's see about the temples. The conjurers, the ancestors, the warriors, the lovers, the griots, and the queens. The queens in this goddess deck are insightful, historic rulers. The Temple of Queens aligns with your third eye, and their energetic color frequencies are indigo and purple, and that's actually kind of cool. Let me see if I can save this and this. The magic shop I used to work at, every other, like once a month on Saturdays, we'd have aura readers come in, and they would, do their aura reading thing. I'm not liking my makeup today. I'm gonna have to work on that. And so let's see. This is my aura reading right here. So you can see the big band of white around, and then the purple, and then the blues. Yeah. I had a lot of good shit going on that day. And so, of course, here's our little aura reading card that they give to everybody. Aura Weaver. And so the white around my head is inspiring, wise, energized, positive, and protective. The purple, let's see, well, which purple is that? That's not a purple. That's a purple. So the purple one is intuitive, playful, visionary, non-judgmental, unconventional, and inspired. So yes, that's me too. And then the blue is expressive, empathetic, supportive, intuitive, loyal, trusting, and sensitive. So that was my aura, that day. And I like to try and keep my aura around that pretty much all the time. I like it. Oh, by the way, y'all, yesterday I celebrated something yesterday. Oh, you couldn't see it. Um, it's off screen to the right. Okay, let me pull it back up. Let's see. So there we go. If I can stop shaking, you can probably see it better. But there's the white and the purple and the blue. Yeah. And it's Aura Weaver right here. But I just realized yesterday, today's the 6th. So yesterday was 5/5. And if you know anything about numerology, 5 is the day of change. And the day of change is a day of positive change for the better. And with that in mind, last year, yesterday, exactly 1 year ago, after I had a panic attack in the bathroom of my job, I walked into the manager's office and said, I have to leave, and walked out. Yeah. And that was that, because what was happening is like the energy in that place was so fucking bad. I was being attacked by negative energy. I was having panic attacks all the time. And finally, Egg was like, you know what? You cannot work there anymore. Even Egg saw it. She knew it was so bad. Um, so let's see. Shutstack would do something to change that. Shade is really cool, yeah. May 6, for a while, create a sort of darkened border to show. Oh, right. Yeah. You can see it on the laptop view. Okay. I'll have to try and figure out like what is kind of right here. I would wish that my logo would be in the vertical and not the horizontal view or whatever it's called, landscape and portrait. Yeah, but yeah, forgot what I was talking about with that. So let me go ahead and read this one. This is We Are the Queens. The queens are indigo and purple. That lines up with my aura pretty much. So Queen Nandi, element is fire, and I should say my I'm a Leo, so yeah. Queen Nandi was the mother of warrior king Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu, his father's royal family first rejected her. They said she wasn't pregnant and her belly resulted from an Ishaka beetle sting. But Nandi knew her son would be great before he was born. You already know. Take a deep breath, surrender to what you know to be true. Trust your inner wisdom and guidance. See, so once again, it's telling me, like, I'm getting all these cards. And before I go any further, I worked the last magic shop I worked at. Of course, there are psychics and there are intuitives, all kinds of readers, all kinds of people with all kinds of abilities. It's a magic shop. It's just how it is. I have been read left, right, up, down, sideways, like by motherfuckers. Like people just come in, like people who don't even work there, just come in and read me. And everybody says the same thing. And everybody, I have had readings from people who do not know me, have not worked at the shop, have never seen me before. I have never given them any kind of information, and everybody says the same thing. Um, the it's the intuition thing, um, and it's what I just read. You already know. Take a deep breath and surrender to what you know to be true. Trust your inner wisdom and guidance. The whole intuition thing. So um, when I talk about, first of all, anybody can be psychic, and everybody is psychic to a certain extent. There are varying levels of psychic ability. There are different kinds of psychic ability. um, Anybody can practice, tune, strengthen their psychic muscles. Now, of course, there are some who are touched. There are some who are just touched, and they do have ability. Um, you know, those of us who do not have ability like that can work to strengthen what they do have. I've worked to strengthen my clairsentience. Um, I'm working on some of the others. I'm just, but I do a lot of tricks. And anyway, that so the embodiment of this card, of the Queen Nandi card, is: what is your guidance telling you? Put your hands over your third eye and ask, oh snap, what's all that noise? Okay. Put your hands over your third eye and ask, if I knew the answer, what would it be? Then follow your first instinct. The creator and your ancestors connect with you through your intuition. Trust your internal GPS. The nudges, the signs, the coincidences are all divine guidance. Slow down. Go for a walking meditation. Be present with nature and pay attention. I need to go out. That's what it is. I need to go to the river. When I so I used to go to the river once a week. It's part of my sacrifice that I do for my Orisha. And when I say sacrifice, don't get it twisted. It's not like I'm sacrificing animals. I'm doing things sweet. Like my Orishas are Orisha of waters, of rivers, and of sweet rivers. So I throw a fresh water. So I throw flowers, fruits, sugar cubes, things like that, into the river after meditation, by the river bank, so on and so forth. Um, um, so slow down, go for walking meditation, be present. Being present allows you to feel, hear, see, and sense your guidance. So essentially, it's asking me and telling me that I need to back off all the noise, sit in silence, sit in contemplation. Not necessarily because I think Brandon said it. Like, some of us can't meditate to the point where, like, it's just silence. I don't know if Brandon said that. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. All I know is I can't. I always have shit going on in my mind. So it's more a sense of, okay, this shit is going on in my mind. Let it then move its way on out. And then go back into my counting of my breath: in, out, in. And I don't know how y'all do your breathing. Yes, nonstop inner dialogue. Yeah, we can't turn off our inner thoughts, but some people can, and some people can. I would Annoy is not the right word. Some people can ignore them better than others. There are people who could swear to you that they don't have any kind of stuff going on up in their brain, like, and I just, like, for me, that's hard to believe. I have 2 or 3, 4, 5 conversations going on at the same time. But when I'm meditating, I can slow it down, and the only way I slow it down is by working on my breath. And it's an active work. It's not like okay, I'm just going to stop and just let everything come. I have to count my breaths in, in. Yeah. So, but I can drop into a pretty good trance state. I like it because I like how, working in magic shops, I like to see how psychics prepare for their clients. And usually, like, they will need 10 to 15 minutes before a client comes to get themselves ready. And I've seen many different ways that they do it. Some people call angels angelic beings. Some people call their spirit guides. Some people access the Akashic records. Some people um, will use God. Some people, it's interesting how people tap into their abilities when it's time to have a reading. Um, um, yeah, Jason, meditation is really the only way I've been able to kind of silence it myself. Like I said, it's not 100. It's something that is a continual. It's a continual working thing, and I don't mind that. As long as I sit there and try and quiet it enough. Usually, um, usually I can enter a pretty good trance. And and just to let y'all know, if y'all want to ever use a song that's a pretty good, it's not like any kind of binaural beats or anything like that, or high hemi sync or anything like that. But it's by Janae Aiko, and it let's see. Actually, I've met a lot of people, mostly women, who don't know what an inner dialogue is, and I can't describe. Wow, that's really strange. Yeah, no, no, no. I definitely know what an inner dialogue is. It's kind of funny you say that because for the better part of 2 decades, I taught a class in my head full with students and me, the professor. Um, and this was from, I don't know, from late middle school, maybe, for about 23 years, 24 years. I was actually at 3 to 7 hertz, and I was trying to get it so I could astrally project or lucid dream. So I was at 3 to 7 hertz, and then it moves up to as it goes on, it moves up to like I don't know what it moved up to. All I know is 3 to 7 hertz as I started, and then I fell asleep, and I didn't remember anything. Like either my medication is just over medicating me, or and keeping me sleep. Like I'm trying to find the right balance because I need to take. There's medication I need to take for my bipolar disorder to when I go to bed. Um, and there's medication that I take for sleep. I take Zolpidem, which is Ambien, and Ambien doesn't do shit. This is supposed to be like some power drug, I guess, like the 12.5 milligram extended release. If I were to take that one by itself, I would get 3 hours of sleep. So last night I took. There's this new drug called Lybalvi, Lybalvi, and it's got Zyprexa, which is an antipsychotic, um, and it's got an anti-eating pill mixed with it. So it doesn't. So hopefully it won't cause me to gain like 800 pounds. To ask about this a lot. 500 hertz. Okay, yeah. I've been listening to this one 3 to 7 hertz every night for the last 4 or 5 nights. I'm trying to get comfortable sleeping with my headphones on because I sleep on my side. So I'm now trying to learn to sleep on my back. What's the seasonal rotation? What's the seasonal rotation? I need to know about that. Is the seasonal rotation is it, or do you mean per season? There's a different hertz I should be listening to. Because that would make sense. Yeah, that would definitely make sense. Um, Let me pop back on here. So embodiment, yeah. Um, so intuition, slow down, go for a walk, meditation. I am knowing. Yeah. So the intuition is there. And what I was telling you, everybody, each psychic, any intuitive that has read me, and they've told me one thing in particular, and that. Well, I'm not going to tell you all that, but one thing they've told me, I've been told by pretty much. I don't think there is one intuitive person who has not said this to me in one way, shape, or form. And I'm not going to say it because then it's going to sound like I'm just talking shit, but I'm not. So the last card is number 5, and that is Mboya Nahanda. Mboya Nahanda. Let's hold this card up. Uh-oh. So we got some lions. Got a woman. Let's see. She looks pretty well. She's got some kind of staff with some kind of stuff. Oh no. It says radical rebirth, so I assume it's got something to do with that. Let's pop into it and we'll see. Let's see. Different meds until they stop. Oh, the seasonal rotation of medications. Okay, different meds until they stop working. So yeah, I have been on Depakote since 2012. Um, I take 2,000 milligrams, so I'm pretty much maxed out on Depakote. I take 2,000 milligrams a day. I was taking Lamictal. We stopped taking the Lamictal. I was taking mirtazapine for sleep, and I take Klonopin for anxiety and panic attacks as needed. Um, but yeah, oh, it was the Vraylar. I was taking the Vraylar, and it was making me drool. So when you hear me do something like this, it's because I'm drooling. And my medication makes me drool, and that shit sucks, you know. But now I'm taking Lybalvi instead, and Lybalvi it puts me in a comatose position. Like I slept for like seriously, no joke, 14 to 16 hours one day, and then the next day 12 to 14. Now today I haven't slept. I slept 6 hours last night, but I did take my Adderall today, which my doctor did not want me to do. But I was like, I am not sleeping the entire day away. Of course, I understand why she wants me to do that because she doesn't want me to end up in a facility, in the Grippy Socks Motel. And I'm like, cool, I'm careful enough to, well, I've got people around me, let me say that. But I make sure that I I'm careful. Let me put it to you like that. I just took one. It's 1 o'clock. My second dose is supposed to be at 2. I always forget my second dose. I'll probably forget it. It's just like that. I'll probably forget it. Um, but yeah, let me get back to the last card. The last card is Radical Acceptance. The temple is the ancestors, and so the temple for the ancestors. Come on, temples. Where are all the temples? I don't know where the temples are. Here they are, back here. Okay, temples, ancestors. Come through, ancestors. The queens, the mysteries, the shadows, the warriors. Why don't I see anything about ancestors? There's the ancestors. 5 cards. The ancestors in this goddess deck are deified historical figures. The Temple of Ancestors governs our basic survival needs, radiates energetically with the color red, and physically aligns with your tailbone area and the lower body. So here's the red. And if I sit up in my seat, then you can see I am going to try and radiate. Anyway, Mboya Nahanda's guidance. Yes, you can, yo. Yes, you can. Um, Stop the struggle. You can choose at any moment to start over and be reborn. Like the sun, you can rise and rise again. And that is so funny because at my worst, at my absolute worst, I always say, if I can just make it until the next sunrise, if I can just make it until the next sunrise, then I have a chance at living again. So like every sunrise, I'm happy to see, especially when I'm in the doldrums. Every time I see a sunrise, it's another day open, and that's why I'm also wearing my sun tarot card pendant, which I haven't worn in a minute, but I love it. And this nice little rock that I'm wearing is a carnelian. Yeah. And I've got my little witchy bitch pen on. And this is a they, them pen. And this is I'm safe with any pronouns you want to use. And this is a she, her pen. Yay. Okay. So let's get back into Mboya Nahanda. Dust yourself off. Move forward. Go for it again. Life is about transition and change. You will fall on your fucking face. Change your mind and need to make a comeback again and again. Release the idea that you messed up if things aren't perfect. Stop waiting to be ready. Make new choices and decisions. Still I rise. So, all in all, good readings. Really good readings. Confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence is at the core of it. Confidence and trust your intuition, which is what I get from both readings. Like you're in the right place. You're standing on a prefaces. No, I'm not going to use the word if I don't know how to say it. So you're standing on a ledge, or you're standing on a side or in the middle, and on one side is initiation, and pushing forward. On the other side is taking a step back and taking a step back and saying, well, maybe all of this work that I've put in doesn't suit me right now. And that's a tough pill to swallow because I put in a lot of work. I've put in a lot. That it's not that it's a tough pill to swallow because the work is good and spiritual work is always good. I've always believed that no matter what path I've traversed on, no matter what path I've traversed, I believe that spiritual work is always good. Even when I was in church Christianity, and I would go to like Vacation Bible School and lock-ins. The lock-ins were fun. I even saw Amy Grant. That's the kind of shit. But ultimately I stopped that shit. Let's see. One thing I heard and have tested and used ever since is impossible to feel sadness or anger at the same time as feeling true gratitude. Huh. I think that's right. So when I find myself in such times, I remind myself of all the things I'm thankful for, even the small. That, Jason, that's amazing. Thank you. That is really, really amazing. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's really cool. So, and that is such a good way to look at it. It really is, because honestly, if I were to put myself in the position of other people, of course I have it better than a lot of people. I am definitely in a better position than a lot of people. I am lucky because I did not put myself in this position. Well, I did. I mean, I worked for a long part of my life. And I worked in a lot of different positions. And, for a part of my life, I was making close to $90,000 a year. Yes, I do have rainwater, and I'm very thankful for that. Yeah, I have air conditioning, and I'm thankful for that. Central air conditioning. I have a place to put my head. I have a roof over my head. I have food in the kitchen. All the basics. So I really should not complain. The complaining is not necessary. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow, Jason, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is there a way we can do a mutual aid type of thing for you? Uh, it's one of the harder things I think about, in terms of, that one of my big fears is being unhoused, because I worked in Atlanta for so long and I saw unhoused people for so long and helped them, even while they would call me such shitty names and say such shitty things to me. Um, Backflow prevention device. Okay. Okay. Hey, Eileen. Yeah, even though people have said shitty things to me, I do let it go a lot. I try not to be mean, like outright mean. That is, I don't know. Now, when I talk about people like Trump, I can't help but be mean, and I don't want to be, but I can't help it. Um, but he is not my, yeah, I guess in the broader sense of the word, in the true sense of the word, he is my fellow man. But in the broader sense of the word, he is not really. He is an untouchable to me. I can't touch him. He is not someone that I can actively go hang out with, and nor would I want to. And furthermore, celebrities, the whole celebrity thing. Me and someone else were talking yesterday. Me and my bestie were talking yesterday, Mish, and we were talking about celebrity and like how awful it must be. Yeah, you've got a gang of money, and yeah, you can do pretty much whatever the fuck you want, but you got people looking at you all the time, all the time. Bye, Brandon. Where you going? Hi, Eileen. Thank you. Bye, Brandon. You saw two women asking for money at the freeway exit and corner before turning into airport parking. Yeah, yeah, that definitely happens. They're showing, Eileen, Jason, you were homeless, surviving for almost 5 years as a teen. Wow. And I've lived in the middle of the forest with no electricity or water besides river water. You have to be able to survive. So you're like a MacGyver, or basically you're just a really good person at surviving. Really good, Jason. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jason, that's amazing. Living in the forest with no electricity or water I would be on the struggle bus and probably be eaten already by chipmunks or something. Yeah. Eileen, what's up? Are you not in the skies right now? Um, um, so yeah, my readings centered. I was doing some reading centering on my spirituality called Ifa and my initiation into the priestesshood. Um, and I take initiations very seriously, so that's why I'm kind of hedging right now as to um, hedging as to see whether I should continue. I have, I'm at a point where I'm stuck right now. So, it'll take a little bit of time, but I think that within the next 2 weeks, if I decide to go through with it, then I will be a fully initiated Ianifa who can then do my things on my own. But trust me, I will be studying. This is a lifelong study. And that's the thing with spirituality. It's lifelong. It's not like you get initiated and everything is there and you know everything. No, initiation is just the beginning. That's why, like in Ifa initiation, in certain traditions, in certain lineages, they not make you, but you shave your head. So if you know the singer Kehlani, oh, Jason, okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Diva, thank you so much. Okay. Have a good one, Jason. Thanks for coming in. I will write down Diva. Okay. Let's see. MacGyver is mentioned in your comic, High Asses in Babylon, which I'll be reading later and alive for your birthday. Oh, happy birthday then. Awesome. Non-event, see mom. French film. Did we talk about the French film? Yes, we did. You're right. You're right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. Cool, cool. Ciao, Bella. I don't know how to say it. It's in French. Was bonjour, no, bonjour, bonsoir, no, bon matin, no, good day, bonjour, 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 ciao, ciao. Yeah. Okay. All right, Jason. Thanks a lot. Be good. I appreciate it. We'll catch up with you again, I'm sure. Oh, Eileen, your mom's 93rd birthday is today. Tell her the whole crew said happy birthday, but tell her I said happy birthday. Seriously. Anybody who makes it into their 90s, kudos to them. That it is in this world, in this day and time, if you actually look it up, the the median age right now, middle age is actually 37, 38 instead of 50. People think middle age is 50, or people think, once they hit 45, they're middle age. No, actually, middle age starts at 37, 38 because life expectancy is what, 75, between 75 to 85. People living to 93, that's a clip. My grandmother though lived to 96. My other grandmother died in her 70s. um, so, but I do have that in my genes that maybe I will live that long. All I know is that I have to live until I am 78 years old. And it's a struggle for me, because bipolar disorder, um, plus a slew of other shit, just mental issues, sometimes make it a struggle for me to, it just makes it a struggle. But the struggle is mine to fight because, son, wake up every morning, is to fight so that I've made this promise to Egg so that she can make it into her 70s. And the reason I say this is because none of her parents, she's got had three parents, I'm sorry. She had a birth mom, a stepmom, and her dad. And her all of them did not, none of them made it to 70. None of them. That's a young, that's a lot of death. Let me put it to you like this. April, wow. April. We had 4 deaths in April, last year. So, um, April is our death month. Yeah. So, and it's also a little strange. My mom is like, I don't know how y'all do funeral services or anything like that, but you know like, people are used to having caskets or ashes, cremations, and then like having little get-togethers and all that. Well, for Egg's parents, we didn't do that. We were just like, cremate. um the shitty thing is that Egg's birth mother made Egg the executor of her estate, and Egg, they did not have a relationship. So we had to go up to Minnesota and take care of her birth mom's shit. And like, it was a lot of shit. Like, neither of us were really happy. Now, that being said, now Egg had a really bad childhood. Her birth mom was a drunk, and still and was until she died. And she died a drunk. Um, so, um, she also smoked, and she lived in a small place, and everything, when we went in there, everything was it was just disgusting. I used to smoke, so I know how addicting smoking can be. But like, honestly, it is to me, it's the most disgusting thing in the world now. And okay, maybe not the most disgusting, but it's up there for me. I never thought I would say that, because I smoked from like 16 until like 34. Um, and I was smoking a pack a day, so I just never thought it would happen. But one day I was like, you know what? Why the fuck am I smoking this? It doesn't even taste good. It doesn't do anything for me. So I threw the cigarette down, stomped it out, took my pack, threw it in the trash, and haven't smoked since. Um, I'm lucky in that I was lucky in that I was able to quit nicotine like that. Um, the thing I couldn't quit like that was cocaine. Cocaine was the thing about. Okay, Eileen, no problem. Oh, okay. Have a good flight. Be safe. And we will talk later. You're welcome. Yeah, cocaine. So, yeah, the thing about my drug past is, yeah, I remember very specifically. I lived on an army base, so Fort Benning, Georgia, which is near Columbus, Georgia, which is where they train infantry. and airborne. Um, I I lived on that base until I was going into my second semester of my sophomore year of high school. Um, we as before we moved, my dad had told us we were moving to Atlanta, and I was like, I can't wait to go to Atlanta because I want to smoke a cigarette, because I'd seen all these infantrymen smoking and women smoking cigarettes, and I wanted a cigarette. Hi Jason, thanks for coming. I really wanted to smoke because I thought it would be cool. And I thought it would taste good. So as soon as I got to Atlanta, and as soon as I was able to, I got a pack of cigarettes, and they were Benson and Hedges, that nothing cool like Marlboro Reds or Camels or even Marlboro Lights. It was Benson and motherfucking Hedges, y'all. And then I got some Virginia Slims, but and then some Merits. I think they were called Merit. Like when I went away to college, those typical parents like their son to college, and I had in my Foot Locker, I had a carton of Merit cigarettes, and I remember the first thing I did when they finally left, and like everything was put away, I got my pack of cigarettes and I went out of the dorm room, and the dorm was co-ed, girls on one floor, guys on the other. I went out of my dorm and into the breezeway, not the breezeway, but the outside, and smoked a cigarette listening to Snapdragons. And that's one of the things, that's the first thing I remember from my first experience at college. But the reason why I'm saying all this is because in doing, like, the enticement to do drugs was there. Like, I wanted to do drugs. um I wanted to see what they were like, because my mind was chaotic anyway. I had so much shit going on that I was just like, let me just do this. This might be kind of fun. So the very first drug I did was not actually weed. I didn't smoke weed. It was not actually alcohol. The first drug I did, well, actually, the first drug I did was cigarettes, so nicotine. The second drug I did was LSD. Um, no weed, no alcohol, just tripping balls. Tripping balls. And then I had alcohol, and then I had weed. But by that time, I had gone to college and become a drinker, because in college, that's what a lot of, especially college at Charleston in South Carolina, it's just such a little party place, or it was back in the 90s, when I was there. And it was a little, I fell in with a little hippie group. All my girls were hippie girls. They wore the oh shit, the what are they called, the plaid, the not the tie-dye, yeah, tie-dye, yeah, sure, but the plaid skirts, the check skirt, what are they called, oh shit, the skirts that had patchwork, like patchwork quilt skirts. And I carried like one of those like little purses that look almost like a reggae type purse. It was a purse. Yeah, I carried a purse, and had my nails done, and so I was already kind of moving into my direction, without really understanding it at that time. Um, I was just doing what I would do as I was away from my family for the first time and able to express myself the way I wanted to express myself. I was trying to grow locks back then too. This was in the 90s. Like, the only person I had known who had, people I had seen who had locks in the 90s, the first person I saw was not Bob Marley. The first person I saw was not a Jamaican person. The first person I saw was a person from Suriname or from the Netherlands. Of course, Suriname, the Netherlands colonized Suriname, and his name is Ruud Gullit, a footballer, um, amazing footballer, soccer player for the Dutch national team, and I don't know what other teams he played. He played for. I think he played for AC Milan. Um, I know he coached. I don't know if he coached the United States team, but he's coached some teams. Anyway, he had locks, and so I was like, "Yes, that's what I want right there. That's the hairstyle I want." My hair was so fine; it wouldn't grow in. Like I would try and twist it, and it wouldn't stay. I'd put beeswax in it, and it would just get disgusting. And this was so in college. This was at the same time that one of my homies was doing his locks, and his locks stayed perfectly, and mine just kept on falling out. So I went to the African braiding store, and they were like, "You want what?" And I was trying to explain it to them, and they were like, "Uh-uh." And so they had me sitting down in a chair. I sat in a chair for 18 hours, 18 hours, while they did micro braids into my hair. So they were all different lengths and all different colors. So if you can think about it, maybe you can think of like, I don't know what the fuck his name is. Damn, is it Corey Glover? No, from Cult of Person, not Cult of Personality. Is that Living Color? In Living Color, Corey Glover. Did he have the different color like braids? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's the only thing I can think. Like it hit my brain like that. So if that's him, then I guess I'm guessing right. But yeah, so I went home following that semester, and my dad was like, "Absolutely not, absolutely the fuck not. Cut that shit now." So, I have a picture of it before, and it's a pretty cool picture because it's with the colorful braids, and they go down to my mid back. They're varying lengths, and I have a picture of an airsoft rifle with a hand of flowers and a helmet on my other arm. So it was a pretty cool little shot. But yeah, so my dad made me take them out. Basically, I cut them down as low as I could, and then had to go get them uninstalled, so taken out. And yeah, all kinds of stuff. I've dyed my hair blonde. I've done my natural hair. This is my natural hair, by the way, but like when it was short. I dyed my hair blonde, and that was a tragic experience too. Won't ever do that again. But yeah, so I finally went to a salon, and I had to go and people who are in the lock community. The style of my locks, the people who are in the lock community be like, I'm cheating and shit. And I did kind of cheat because I went with the faux lock way, and the faux lock way, FAUX, is where you will get dreadlock extensions. So I got dreadlock extensions. My hair was about this long, and my 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 beauty salon person, she put locks. So my hair was about this long, and then she would put another extension into my hair to about here. And basically what that did, I went to her twice a month, every month for a year and a half. So for 16 months. Is that a year now? 17 months, 16 months. Anyway, it was about 16 months. I went to her every month, twice a month, every month for 16 months. And she would wash, style, condition my hair, wash, condition, style my hair. After the last month, I was like, you know what? Let's take these motherfuckers out. It's either now or it's never going to work. And so I remember I was at work one day at Delta Dental. And the next day I came in, everybody was like, what the fuck? They started laughing at me. I was like, why are y'all laughing at me? And they're like, you had faux locks. You were trying to front on it. And I was like, no, I wasn't trying to say like I had locks, they were just extensions. Nobody asked me. It's just like the whole thing with like girls, boys in between. Nobody asked me, so I never say anything. But the 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 hair. So finally, when she took them out, um, it took about it took about a year for them to finally lock, because the process is a twist. You can do a double twist, a two-strand twist, or other ways. You can do a comb coil, but the thing is, you have to it just takes time. And there's an ugly phase, which is not really an ugly phase. It's just a phase where your locks are kind of short and uneven. And, for people, especially for Black women, there is this stereotype that you have to go through this ugly phase to have natural hair. And so Black women um, will have hair straighteners or things like that. And the movement to go natural is great. I love going natural because I've done both. I've had my hair straightened. I've had my hair cornrowed. I've had my hair in all sorts of styles. um I've had my locks for the longest. Well, not the longest. I've had my locks for. I started my locks in 2017. What is it now? 2026. So it's 9 years. Yeah, 9 years. Did I start in 2000? No. I'll have to talk to Egg about that. I don't think 2017 is right. I think it's actually earlier than that. Either way, it's been long enough to where my locks were down to my ass, and going farther. So we cut them, and also because my locks at that point were purple, blue, and pink, and the bleaching process had. Okay, Eileen, thank you. Bye. Oh, okay. Hi, Jason. I already said hi to all y'all. Thank y'all for being in here. I'm just babbling right now, but so the dyeing process, the bleaching process, has really fucked up my locks. So that's why you'll see like some of my locks are kind of thin in certain places. It's because of the bleach. Like all this color right here. Like I want red locks. So the next thing I'm gonna do is get red. I'm gonna have Salon Egg, as I say. She is my lock goddess now. She has done my hair since after my lock goddess, Keisha, started my locks. Once she took out the faux locks, Egg has been doing my hair ever since. I don't let anybody else touch my hair except for Egg. No white person, by the way, no white person will ever touch these locks without express permission from me. So don't come up and try and touch my hair because you will get hit. Like like it. People think it's a joke, but like this is energy in this bitch. This is energy. I've grown these. This is my energy. So don't invade. But so yeah, my locks were down to my ass, cut them, and now they're down to my ass again. Like some of them, not all of them. Most of them are down to my bra strap, or a little bit longer, mid back, lower back. But I have some that are hitting my ass now. I don't know if I will cut them again. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, so this stuff right here, like I'll pull it out. You see all this shit right here that will not stay in my locks. I'm going to shave the sides, keep the locks, and I'm going to get tattooed on each side of my head, like right here. And then I'm going to reattach the locks to other locks to make them stronger. And ultimately, there's a hairstyle that I like. It's an older hairstyle now. It was really popular maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, in the southeast area. It's called Wicks, Wicks, and you'll notice them immediately, because they're usually really thick locks, like this thick. You'll have maybe 5 or 6. Or I want something like where we take like all of these and make them into one lock, and then have like a bunch of those. Not a bunch because I don't, I want like the reason is I don't want all of these locks. I want them to be contained a bit. That's why you'll hardly ever see me with my locks down. When my locks are down, it's almost like tunnel vision. Well, it's not almost, it is. I can't see outside the periphery. all I can see is in front of me because my hair just goes like that. I feel like, is cousin it the right word? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, so the one thing I want to do next is I want to dye, like, these used to be red. So I want to dye them back to a darker, deeper maroonish red. Like I said, tattoos are on the future. Me and Egg were talking tattoos or piercings. I don't think I'm gonna get my septum pierced again. I've had my septum pierced for like 20 years. Um, but I had to take it out for FFS, and so I don't think I'm gonna get it pierced again because I love my little nose. Um, I may, however, get a couple nostril piercings and maybe snake bites. Maybe. I'm not really pushing that. What I am pushing is that I am going to get a tattoo on my neck and a tattoo on this neck right here. And I'm going to get my hands done, and I'm going to get these done right here. And so those are my next tattoo goals. At my head, my neck, both of my neck and my sides of my head are the first goals, and then my hands. So if y'all know of a tattoo artist in Atlanta who wants to do something on the cheap and get their work out, let me know. Now, I don't need anyone who does bad work. I need to, and I'm willing to pay the money for good work. I just want to know, hey, anybody in the comments, how long have y'all sat for a tattoo if you have one? Because like shit, I sit for tattoos, not very good. Like, I've had electrolysis. If y'all haven't had electrolysis, it's like the permanent removal of facial hair or of hair of any place on the body. But on the face, it's particularly painful. It's sending an electrical current into every single pore on your face and killing that hair at the root. Every single pore. Think about how many pores you have on your face that grow hair. I've had most of it done. I grow hair here. Like this, you can see is my scar. This is my scar from my surgery. But like I grow hair right here, and then right here, and right here. And then a little bit right here. And that's it. Everything else, like I had full beard and it's all gone from electrolysis. But that's painful. And so with the I don't know where I was going with I don't know where I was going with the electrolysis because it's something to do with pain. The tattooing on the neck. Like I don't know if I should use numbing cream. I've used numbing cream for my electrolysis. I have never used numbing cream for any of my tattoos. But this is probably going to be a great deal more painful than any tattoo I've had. Still, like, I don't know, like the neck does not seem like it's going to kill me for some reason. Now, I've seen Egg get both of her feet tattooed. No, one of her feet tattooed and one of her hand tattooed. We both got our hands tattooed at the same time. My hand didn't hurt at all. She didn't get her hand tattooed. She got her inside of her wrist tattooed. But I saw her get her foot tattooed, and that shit looked painful, like super painful, to the point where I will never get my foot tattooed ever, 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 never, ever. But it looks good all these years later. But like it almost got infected, but it looks good. I would like to get tattoos on my legs, but it's probably only going to be my thighs, to be completely honest, because I've got bony shins, and I can imagine the needle hitting my shin, all those times. I don't know how people do full suits, like tattoos in their underarms, like that would be so painful. I saw one guy getting one, and he was just like da 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 da. These are some people who are pretty badass with pain. Like, now I can handle pain. I have Crohn's disease, Crohn's disease is physical pain. I've heard it explained that it's like labor, it's like serious Crohn's disease pain. Like when you have serious Crohn's disease, it is like labor, like giving birth, like the intensity of the cramping, so on and so forth. Oh, what's going on? People are popping off. Um, yeah. Okay. So, y'all, it's 1:44. What else can I talk about? Oh, anybody in there? Anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Let me just pop off and tell y'all what the fuck is going to go down this coming up week. I don't know what today is. Today is Tuesday. Today is Wednesday because I had my psychiatrist visit today. Um, so today is Wednesday. I don't. I may come back on live later on just because I'm bored. Um, but and then tomorrow I don't have anything. I have spiritual work tomorrow. Um, but that's early in the morning, and I may come on live tomorrow. But then Friday. Oh wait, tomorrow's Thursday. No, I do have something tomorrow. That's why I was thinking this. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, it will be me with the lovely Samantha Page. She is amazing. So we're gonna do a fuck Mary swipe. Thank you, Brandon. Oh, Brandon's not in the comments anymore. Thank you, Brandon. I stole that from Brandon and Sturge. Fuck Mary swipe left. Um, we'll do that, and we'll also do like I do a pick 5 songs and a plus one. And the reason I do these in my lives, or lives that I do with people, is because I want to kind of get to know you through your music. Like, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, that kind of tells what generational uh, beliefs you have, what kind of and it's not fallible, it's not 100%, but it gives me some type of idea, like like I can, let me pop off. Let's see, like Samantha Page, the lovely Samantha Page. And I'll post these on Facebook. I mean, not on Facebook, on Substack. But Samantha Page's songs are going to be a Bob Dylan song, a Pink Floyd song, a Rolling Stones song, a Heart song, another Rolling Stones song, and an Eagles song. So you can kind of get the feeling. You can kind of get the age. You can kind of guess the age that Samantha may be. You can kind of guess you can get a feel for the type of music she gravitates towards. And then you can start extrapolating all kinds of crazy shit from that. And especially when you sit down and talk with someone about why they chose that track, because I don't do it like the way I'd like to do it is the tracks that you listen to the most during the previous week. But I didn't even do that. I just picked 5 tracks that represented my mood for how I want the talk with Samantha to go. And so my side of the music is awesome because I love my side of the music because it's my music. But Fletcher, Crush, Cigarettes After Sex, Apocalypse, Smugglers and Scholars. That's the new Kneecap song from the new Kneecap album. Good Girls, Bad Girls, Charlie Curtis Beard. And that's a shout out to Sarah the Shenanigator. Back to Me by the Marias, and JID, Jitty Baby, JID, Babytron, and Little Yachty, Half Doing Dope. So I have a mix. Samantha's is a lot of classic rock. I think it's all classic rock. Mine is more. I've got some hip hop in there. Mine is a little bit more diverse in the sense that I've got a diverse sound. I've got some hip hop. I've got some slow, moody type music, and I've got a straight up fucking lesbian fucking song. Hey Frankie. So had to include. Now Fletcher, I know, is problematic in the lesbian community, so we won't get into her problematic issues, but her music, especially that album Antidote, is fucking amazing. And the song Crush from Antidote is one of my favorite songs from her. So and what we'll do with that is we'll sit down Samantha will have already listened to my music, and I've already listened to Samantha's music. As a matter of fact, I listened to the playlist over and over and over again, so I can just kind of talk about it. But the funny thing is with Samantha's playlist this time, I didn't need to look over it that much. The only song I didn't know was the Bob Dylan song, "Gotta Serve Somebody," and I was not a big fan of Bob Dylan. I'm not, but that song, "Gotta Serve Somebody," is actually really good. It's really good. So her other songs are "Money" by Pink Floyd, classic, classic. "Bitch" by the Rolling Stones, which I didn't really know all that much. I'm not a Rolling Stones fan. I do like some of their music. "Heart," "Magic Man," one of my old good friends' best favorite songs. "Angie." But it's a Giles Martin 2020 mix. So I'll have to listen to that again. "Angie" by the Rolling Stones, yeah. And then "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. So classic rock. She is a little bit older than me, so it does fit that demographic. I think I don't know. She's some years older than me, like some, not by a lot. But yeah, so me and the lovely Samantha Page will be live tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Woo! 9 p.m. Eastern, that's like my writing time. But that's when my brain starts firing. So really firing. And then let's see. The day after that, so tomorrow's Thursday, I will have Samantha Page. And the day after that is Trauma Talk with awesome Wendy the Druid, the Shenanigators, Sarah, Kira, and the poet Miranda. Can't forget the poet Miranda. And of course, Brandon Elrich Is So Gay. We'll chop it up at 1 or 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whichever Wendy is feeling comfortable with. And then let's see, Saturday. Oh, yeah, Saturday. So let me, I wish I could find that really quickly. I'm not going to be able to find it, so I'm not going to be able to put it into the chat. But give me just a minute. Let me see if I can find it really quickly to know. Is there something that I can okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm still there. I'm just pulling something. Okay, here we go. So let me bust this in here. This person, Elizabeth Sillick LaRue, and her husband are having a hard time. We are working on a mutual aid campaign to cover her husband's medication. They are not, as I understand, they're not in the United States anymore, and that's why things like copay cards can't be used. As far as I understand, her husband, and his name is Wes, has a pretty severe case of eczema to the point where it's covering the whole body or a very good large percentage of the body. It's very painful, scratching, of course, shedding of the skin, opening sores, people looking, people judging, the medication, of course, is expensive to treat it. And I know how expensive medication is. As I keep on saying, I have Crohn's. Just to tell you, the medication I'm taking right now for my Crohn's would be, if I were to get a 30-day supply of it for myself, would be $1,200. I get it for free because I have a copay assistance card. I have not paid for my Crohn's disease medication for probably close to 10 years now. It's because I keep on getting copay assistance cards that bring the total down to zero. So this is just for y'all out there. If you get sick and you need like a medication that's an injectable, like a biologic or like a chemo type drug, look for copay assistance cards. Like I said, I was on Humira, got dropped down to zero. Cimzia got dropped down to zero. Unikistamab was that Stelara got dropped down to zero. All of my medication, Skyrizi got dropped down to zero. Now I'm on. I knew I was going to forget it. Rinvoq. So I'm like all those ones before were either infusions or shots that I did at home. Um, and I was on that needle plus the needle for my estrogen. I just got tired of doing needles. So, when the Rinvoq came out, the Skyrizi wasn't working anymore anyway. So I got on the Rinvoq and very quickly got the Rinvoq copay card, assistance card, which dropped my price down to zero. I started taking a new medication for my bipolar disorder. It's called Lybalvi, and I got the first 3 months free. That medication is something, and this is not a joke, like $15,000 a month. It is so brand new, so expensive, but copay card, bitch, copay card. And so it's free. As I understand it, Wes is not in the United States and cannot get that free copay card. So what we're doing is what we're going to do on Saturday is we are going to do kind of like a raise-a-thon. I don't know what you call it. Where we're going to be on air for a certain amount of time. Like I am not leading all this. I am just donating my time and for the cause. I am going to pop online for about 30 minutes and just talk with whomever's there to talk with. I know that the people who are coordinating this are Kren. I don't know if you know Kren Johansson or Johansson and Weirdo, your weirdo friend, or my weirdo friend, Weirdo, and Will Fullwood, I think, is involved. But like I said, on Saturday, and it's going to be some point Saturday morning, you can look on like Will's page. You can look on Weirdo's page, your weirdo friend. Let me get Weirdo's page so I can stop doing all this crazy shit. Weirdo. There's Weirdo. Okay, so Saturday, I don't know exactly what time this is going to go off. It'll probably be in the day, in the afternoon. But this is Weirdo's Substack. What's Contraband Camp? Is it Contraband Camp? Will Fullwood. Will Fullwood. I love his name, by the way. I can't get enough of saying it because, of course, my mind always goes to the dirty porn spot. And Will Fullwood, Fullwood. Contraband Wagon is Will Fullwood. And he's a power player. Will Fullwood is amazing, an amazing man, a very smart man. Both of these people, your weirdo friend, my weirdo friend, they are extremely smart, extremely well read, extremely well spoken. And I'm not saying this to be like. I'm saying this as having spoken to them and feeling the weight of what they say and how they move and how they think, so I go to also Elizabeth Sillick LaRue. You can go to her page as well. I think that is where it will be held, is on her page. I'm not sure how it's going to be held. All I know is that if you start popping on one of these three Substacks, so let me also put mine in. I mean, on my Substack. Oh yeah, I'll put my Substack in here. OnyxRose9.substack.com. I don't know if it'll show up on my page. But that's my Substack, and then I'll put my real home. Substack is my home away from home. This is my home, which I haven't written on since the end of National Poetry Month because I've had kind of a brain fart, and I've found out that I can talk it out rather than walk it out, meaning I can't write it out right now. I'm not able to write myself out of my brain lock, but I can talk, while not making too much sense. Like this wouldn't make a lot of sense if I was trying to write it down and I would have to try and correct and all that good stuff. In talking, I can just say what I want to say and then, get it out that way. But yeah, I want y'all to just be on the lookout for that. Will Fullwood is a good guy. Really good guy, like BA, MSED, JD, longtime educator, assessment and ed tech specialist, anti-racist activist, lawyer, poker player, musician, friend of humanity, empath, and a polymath. So once he said the word empath, once I saw the word empath, I was like, okay, and we vibed yesterday, y'all. It was a vibe. It was a fucking vibe. Wait, it wasn't even yesterday, yo. What is yesterday? It was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. Yeah, it was Monday, and it was a vibe. It was definitely a vibe. I would love to catch him one more time. The thing with and I'm not an interviewer. I'm just a person who likes to talk. So the thing about talking with Will, though, is I got a little intimidated because I didn't want to talk. I wanted to talk more about things may have happened like between him and his husband that may have been similar between me and Egg, because he and his husband are interracially married, and me and Egg are interracially married. And I wanted to see if he had any of the same issues we had. Now, of course, things are different because he and his husband have been together a lesser amount of time than me and Egg. And me and Egg got together almost 25 years ago. And back then, we got people spitting on us. Yeah, spitting? Yeah, spitting. Spit. We got people yelling really bad things at us. All the good things you like to hear, huh? Yeah, let's make America great again, huh? That's what it was back then. Let's make America great again. It just wasn't. It wasn't as. It was in our face, but it wasn't in everybody else's face. They'd move us to the farthest corner of the restaurant. They'd sit us near the bathroom and then not come and check on us. We'd get dirty stares. People would call Egg a traitor to her race. They would call me a traitor to my race. They would call Egg white trash. The cool thing is her family never had a problem with it. So pretty much every person I had dated before then, their family had a problem with me dating their child, because I was seen as a wild one. Indeed, I was a little wild. I was. I was. I don't know. I was wild, but so I forgot where I was going with that. That happens. I'm not taking my Adderall because, and so that's, my spaciness will happen. But yeah. Oh, okay. So let me finish up here. So Saturday will be the mutual aid-a-thon during the day, and then at 4:20 Eastern, 4:20 smoke, because that's what time we do the shit. Well, we smoke anytime, any day, but 4:20 will definitely take a hit. I will. Egg does not smoke or do any kind of drugs, but actually she does. I'm sorry, she drinks. She just doesn't drink a lot. She'll have like one drink every other month. But yeah, I'm gonna do some drugs. Like I'm gonna smoke some weed in just a minute. And yeah, but back to the plot. Yeah, we're gonna smoke weed. I'm gonna smoke weed, and then we're gonna go on at 4:20. The problem is we don't really know what to talk about. And, we want to keep it, I don't know if we want it to be something super serious or if we want it to be something kind of lighthearted. Not really sure. Okay, y'all, I am going to get off right now. I appreciate the 13 of you hanging, or the 12 of you, because it's including me. So 13 is a good number anyway. Thank y'all for coming in. Let me end this puppy. No trash, no transphobia, no racism, no ableism, no sexism, no homophobia. That's trash right there. Okay. And then we'll add in no xenophobia, no Islamophobia, land back, reparations, no borders, fuck ICE, and fuck Trump. Alrighty, y'all. Be good. Thanks for coming in.